All right, good morning. My name is LeviKristina. I'd like to thank you all for giving me the opportunity to come up here this morning and introduce you all to one of today's guest speakers. Our guest speaker this morning is going to be coming up here shortly. But to start off, I wanted to ask you all, how many of you all are interested in changing the world? Really? Only a couple of you? You guys in the back aren't? Now, everybody should be raising their hand. Everybody should be interested in making an impact on other people and wanting to change the world. Now, step back a second. How many of you all got to eat breakfast this morning? Everybody? How many missed breakfast this morning? I missed breakfast this morning. You guys hungry? I'm a little hungry because I missed breakfast. Now, just so happens that 11.3% of the world's population is 2. That's around 805 million people that are hungry this morning. Now, that's a problem. But lucky for you all, you're going to be hearing a little bit more about that subject today because we have prepared a wonderful guest speaker for you this morning that is going to be diving a little bit deeper into this topic to be able to inform you a little bit more about that subject. Now, today's guest speaker is a sophomore here at this wonderful institution, and she is also she serves as the historian on the Filipino American Student Association. Now, right now she loves photography, but she hopes to one day be able to work for the World Food Program at the UN. Now, having this background, she wants to be able to help people in the world. And so today, presenting on Hungry Humans this morning, I'd like to ask you all to help me welcome Ms. LeviKristina Estrada.
Hi. Yes.
Close the blinds.
Alright, so as you guys know, the past few presentations I've been talking about bees and how they're important ecologically and economically and biologically. But I also mentioned that without these bees that we wouldn't have enough nutrition to survive. So today I'm going to talk about humans and how they're hungry. So to start off, did you know that 1 in 9 people are hungry around the world and they don't have enough food to live an active and healthy lifestyle? This leads us to a few questions like who's hungry, why are they hungry, and what are we doing about this? So, oh wait, no. Okay, so the first point, who's hungry? So many of the people around the world that are hungry are in developing countries, and the majority of them, like over half of them, are in Asia and in the Pacific. And the highest percentages of hungry people are actually in East, North, and South Africa. And a lot of this hunger is because of natural disasters and famines. Like this child here in South America suffers from malnutrition because her hometown is suffering from famine. A lot of women are actually more hungry than men are. And when this happens, it leads to hungry and undernourished and malnourished stunted children because of they aren't able to get enough nourishment from their mothers when they're nursing. And then this leads to my second part of children. Children are 1 out of 6 children are actually underweight. 66 million go to school in primary school, go to school hungry in developing countries. And more than 200 million children under 5 years old suffer from poor cognitive development. Every 10 seconds, a child is lost to hunger. And if they don't reach the correct nutrition by the age of 3, then they can be stunted for life. And it also leads to, it can lead up to 40% difference in their brain development. As in this chart, you can see that there are different, there's like less connections in the synapses of the brain so that they don't connect and learn as well. Why is this happening? There's a few different reasons why this is happening. One of the reasons is education, because there's a lack of infrastructure and development and technology and knowledge. We actually waste a lot of our food, and in this infographic it shows that we actually waste 1/3 of our food, which is about 1.3 billion tons, which is a significant amount for how much food we have. Another reason is education is that women actually don't have that much education, and if they did, we could reduce the people that are hungry by 150 million people. which is actually a good amount of numbers. And with with this, they also don't know that breastfeeding their children for the first 6 months is actually really important, and only 50% of mothers do this up to 4 months. Another reason is race and ethnicity, because there are different conflicts going on, then they don't get as much food, so they become malnourished and undernourished. And that also leads to food access, because we actually have enough food in the world for people to have enough daily calories to survive, but the big problem is like getting the food to the people. And because some of this is because some of the lower income people, they don't have control over their land, so they don't have the money to buy food because they get less money for the food that they do grow, and they can't eat that food because they need to make the money. And another reason for lack of access to food is urbanization, because of these poor people who need to go to cities in order to find to find money and jobs. They don't have access to good food, and like it's contaminated because of their close quarters, and they also they don't breastfeed as much because of the formulas and the convenience of it, and just the bad eating habits that go along with it. What is being done? There's actually a lot of different things that are being done by organizations and researchers and scholars to combat and prevent hunger. And one of these things are school lunches. We actually have seen that if there are more school lunches offered in developing countries, more people are likely to come in and go to school, because instead of going out to look for food, they actually go to school and learn, and they're able to eat without having to worry about the different factors of hunger while they're learning. Another thing that we can do is help women. If we help and involve women with different ways to teach them different skills, then we're enabling them to go out and help the community, and they can actually increase production, and we can reduce hunger by 12 to 17% if they have the same resources. And it also helps the local economy, because with all these people and resources and education, we can raise the wage for the people and reduce the prices for food, and also increase their need for labor. Another, my strongest point for this is that we need to become sustainable, and there's a word called sustainable intensification. You can't really see it because of the black box in front of it, but this just means that we need to grow more food, but in a sustainable way, so that we don't use up all the resources that we need. And different ways we do this are integrated pest management, ways we manage animal waste, and different ways we can use agroforestry in order to grow this food. And we can also reduce our food waste, be wary of GMOs, and also different types of ways to reduce the yield gap. And there's actually been a study that showed where they worked with farmers in different countries, developing countries, and they actually showed a 79% increase by using these sustainable practices. So it is possible to increase the yield with different ways and different systems and different crops. So in conclusion, I think that this is important, and that we can reduce hunger in the world, because we've already been doing that with the different technologies and being aware of what our impact is. And educating these people are very important in order to help them become sustainable themselves, not just always giving them food. Instead, we actually help them grow their food and learn how to do that. And I think it's important that while we also educate them, we should educate ourselves, because without this, then we can't have a future where more people can live and we can grow for more generations.